Okay, so for the AKM build, we have done the low level budget build and we have done the budget beast build. Now it's time to get into the champion build, which is the meta build. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the X Build Hideout. If you guys have never been here before, I'm super excited you guys are here. This is a channel where we focus on a lot of Tarkov content. I've been posting 3 to 4 videos a week, so if you guys want to see more Tarkov content and you end up liking this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and you can always hit the bell if you want to be notified when videos go live. Today, we're going to be going over an AKM build that I call the champion build, which is a meta AKM build. Now, we've done the other 2 builds. Now it's time to get into the build you guys have been asking for. Whenever I'm on stream, many times this is the build that I run. It is a very nice AKM build, being that it is a meta build. And the AKM, in my opinion, right now is probably my favorite weapon in the game. So with that being said, let's get into this build. Right before we do, I just want you guys to know I do stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. PST, and we usually have an amazing time, so I would love to have you. But now let's get into the build. Okay, so here we are for the AKM champion build. Now, I've already sent this to some of you guys in the Discord, but for everybody else who have been asking for it and people who just want to know how the meta AKMs are built, we are going to go over that, and we are going to be looking at 68 ergo and 58 vertical recoil. Now, you can get the vertical recoil down a little bit lower, doing things that I just don't really want to run, but I will tell you guys how to do them in case you want to. And so what we're going to do is we're pretty much going to focus this on vertical recoil. What I try to do is I try to get people to think about how they want to build a weapon and why they want to build a weapon a certain way when building. That's kind of the mindset you want to have, because you can build weapons so many different ways depending on what you're trying to achieve with that build. With this build, I'm trying to send 7.62 BP rounds down range as accurate as possible, meaning I want to get my vertical recoil really low, since this already comes with a high vertical recoil. So if I'm using it in a full auto sense, I'm going to want to make sure that I'm getting the tightest spread possible. Now, you can get it to about 55 or 54, but we're going to be running this build at 58, and honestly at 58, you guys are going to see in the hideout when we test it out that it runs very well. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to be using the barter like I did with the other AKM build. So if you guys have seen this one and you guys have seen this one, this is the exact same thing. And what we're going to do is going to be 3 Tashanka, which is the beef stew from the flea market, and we're going to be trading those for the AKM for proper. Now, the only difference right now is that in the other 2 videos, the Tashanka we were getting were 6,500 rubles a Tashanka. Right now, they're extremely high. I actually paid 11,000 a piece. But right now, currently, they're like at 17, I think. So they keep fluctuating, but obviously if you get them for cheaper, the build's going to be cheaper. Anyways, so we're at 33,000 for the AKM, which is still cheaper than buying it from proper, and still cheaper than if you were to buy it from flea market. So the very first piece we're going to be going over is the Lantac Dragon muzzle brake, which is such an amazing muzzle brake, and it's kind of interesting. So in the new update, they actually just dropped a brand new muzzle brake for the 7.62 by 39, but it's like slightly worse than the Lantac Dragon for around the same price. So I don't know why they did that. So we're still running. I got excited. I thought I was going to run a brand new muzzle brake, but it's actually a little bit worse. So we're running the Lantac Dragon, and that is going to be 13,653 rubles from Skier level 4 with negative 12%, vertical recoil and -1 on the ergonomics. Right after that, we are going to the faithful Zenit RK3 pistol grip. That is going to cost us 9,014 rubles from Skier level 3, giving us plus 13 ergo. This pistol grip, I can't recommend it enough. It is by far the best. Then we have something a little bit different. So on the budget builds, we run the Bastion dust cover because it's a lot cheaper, but it is a little bit worse, and that's why we're switching it up to the Fab Defense PDC dust cover, which is going to give us a plus 1% accuracy, which isn't a huge deal, but the Bastion actually gives us a negative 2%. And then it's going to give us the plus 7 ergonomics versus the plus 5. So it's just a small boost, but it's enough to want to get a better in slot. So this is going to be 18,000 2,132 rubles from skier level 4. And then right after that, on top, we are going to be grabbing the low profile mount, the RM33, and that is going to give us -1 on the ergonomics, and that is going to be 15 USD from Peacekeeper 2. And then on top of that, we are going to be running the Trigicon RMR, which is not going to take away ergo from us. It's not going to do anything to our vertical recoil. It's going to be 203 USD from Peacekeeper level 2. Now, you guys know, if you've seen my other videos, how I feel about sights. Sights are completely subjective. If you guys want to run the UH1, if you guys want to run an EOTech, if you guys want to run a PK06, that's completely up to you, even though the PK06s are like 60,000 rubles right now. It's completely up to you. Now, one of the ways that you can get the vertical recoil lower is by running the EKP, the Cobra, but it takes away 6 from the ergonomics, and I personally just don't like the sight, so I'm not going to run it. But it is pretty cheap. It's like 9,000 rubles or something like that. I have been pretty addicted to the RMR. The RMR is typically a pistol reticle, but honestly, I've been running it and I really like it. So that's the one that I'm gonna run. And if you guys want to, you're gonna need the mount for it, and then you can run it the same way. The other ones that I really like are the EOTech XPS, and then I also like the PK06. But since PK06 has went up, I have been exploring new sights. Then we have none other than the only best stock, the Zukov for the AK. This is going to give us that -49% vertical recoil and +11 ergonomics. We can get it for 169 USD from Peacekeeper 4, and this thing is such a must-have for this build. It literally makes the build be able to get that low in the vertical recoil. And then we are going to be running the Palm US AK30 mags. And the reason why is because these are the best ergonomical. These are the best mags for ergo. It's only going to take away 1 ergo running these mags. So even though, in my opinion, the PMags look better, these are going to give us slightly better stats. These are going to be only 20 USD from Peacekeeper 3. So actually, they are also cheaper because the PMags, I believe, are like 38 USD, which is not a huge difference, but they're cheaper and better. So we're going to be running these mags in here. And you can run the 50s, but you are definitely going to pay for it in stats. But if you feel like for some reason you're in a PvP centric area and you want to run the 50s, you can do that as well. I usually run like 4 or 5 of the 30s and I do pretty well. Then we are going to be running the Zenit RP1 charge handle, which I don't believe the stock AKM comes with anything in this slot. So we're going to be running this for a +1 on the ergonomics, and you're going to be able to get this for 2,956 rubles from Skier level 2. Okay, so next we're going to be talking about one of the biggest parts of this build and why many of you can't run meta AKs in the beginning, and that's because you are going to want to be using the Valtor CMRD key mod handguard. This is one of the staples in the meta AKM build. This is going to give us that -5% vertical recoil and +10 in the ergonomics, and it's going to be 33,074 rubles unlocked with mechanic level 4. This is literally, you're gonna need this. I see some people running other handguards, but they're like dramatically different in stats, so you're definitely gonna want to run this. And then after that, we are going to be pushing for, now we're going to need the CAS-V key mods. We're going to be using the 6-inch Valtor CAS-V key mod, and that is going to be 23 USD from Peacekeeper 2. On top of that, this is what I run. Now you can get lower vertical recoil if you run the Zenit RK2, but it's going to cost you some ergo. So I choose this instead. We are running the Zenit RK1, and because we're doing a meta build, price is completely irrelevant to me. I'm not factoring that in, so I know most of you might say, yeah, but this is like twice as expensive as the RK2 and almost 3 times as expensive as the regular RK1. I get it. Honestly, my second go-to would be the regular RK1 uncanted. I still wouldn't probably run the RK2 only because of the drop in ergo. It's not a huge deal, but I usually would run either the canted with the B25U or the RK1 regular. That's going to give us -4% on the vertical recoil and +4 on the ergonomics. Then we're going to be able to get this for 46,759 rubles from Skier level 4. And lastly, we're going to be running the Valtor CAS-V 4-inch key mod. and that is going to be 17 USD from Peacekeeper 2, and that is just so we can run our laser or flashlight or whatever you want to run. So I've been actually running the Steiner D-Ball instead of the Hollow Sun, only because you can pretty much do everything with this and it is cheaper. So that is going to knock off one of our ergonomics, but it's amazing. It has pretty much been my go-to. That is going to be 123 USD from Peacekeeper 3. And guys, if you're wondering why I'm making the builds with the sight, with the mag full of ammo, with my light or flashlight, it's because I don't really like when people create builds that are no mag, that have no sight, that have no flashlight. And the reason why is because the numbers that they're feeding us aren't accurate, because then we go and make that same build, but then we still have to run a mag, we still have to run a reticle, we still have to run a flashlight or whatever, laser. And then the numbers are a little bit different. So I try to run the guns exactly how I run them. You guys can see it says champion right here. This is literally the build that I run. So that is it. That is the meta build. I can't wait for you guys to run it and use it. It is pretty pricey, but I promise you, you will get addicted to it. I think you will like the AKM even more than you might already. I feel like it's either you really like AKs or you don't like AKs at all. You like the M4 platform or you like the AK platform, but I like both. I just really like this AKM. So what we're gonna do is, before we read off the stats, we're gonna take it into the hideout and we're gonna see how it runs. Here we are, baby. Look at that ergo, dude. For an AK, look at this. This just feels so nice. And the sight. See, I told you guys, the sight's actually pretty sick. Now on white, it actually looks pretty poor. It doesn't look like the red dot is saturated enough, but on everything else, honestly, it looks really good. Anyways, I like the sight. Let's get it. So the first, what I'm going to do is no recoil control. I'm literally just going to let it go just so you can see what it's like. So we're going to start right here and let it go up. So you have that initial buck up like you normally would, but look it. So we hit down here somewhere. Where is it? Right here, maybe. And then we have, oh no, it's right here. And then we have this tight little spread, and then we have a couple stray rounds. But overall, for an AK, that is very, very nice. And you're doing this with BP, which is an amazing round. Okay, we have to run all the way. Pretty steady. The champion AKM. So that wraps up the build, guys. That is the meta AKM champion build, and that is going to leave us at 68 ergo and 58 vertical recoil. It's going to cost us 156,588 rubles and 570 USD. But I'm telling you guys, if money is not an issue. Now, what I don't want you to do is, I don't want you, if you have like 500,000 in your stash and you're a lower level, I don't want you to waste all your money on this build, because honestly, it's more about the ammo than it ever is about the guns, and you could run a stock AKM or something like my budget builds. Go to my budget builds and check out those. But when money is not really an issue, I want you guys to run this, and I want you guys to go down into the comments and tell me what you think about this build. If you like the build, if you prefer an M4, if you prefer an HK, let me know. I want to talk to you guys about it. Okay? Thank you. Thank you guys so much for coming out and watching another build. I really hope that it works out for you guys. If you guys like the content, make sure you smash that like button, because it goes a long way for the YouTube channel, and I really appreciate all the support you guys have been showing lately. We just actually released another build yesterday, so you could always go watch that. And then we are also posting a lot of content on the channel, and then in the midst of that, in stream, you will have enough Tarkov content to get you through your week. If you guys want to, you can always subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Tarkov content. And you can always hit the little bell if you never want to miss an upload. Hope to see you guys also by the stream sometime. We usually have a lot of fun. You can find me at twitch.tv/xvlnghost Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 6 p.m. PST into the wee hours of the morning. Whether you want to chill after work, get into some raids, or talk about this stuff live, either way, I think it's going to be a good time. And lastly, guys, my last call to action is I want to tell you guys about the Discord because there is a lot of resources in there for you. There is a bot that answers every single question you need, backing it up with the most accurate sources. There is channels that you can use for gun builds. We have a Tarkov 101. We have a tips and tricks area. All of the YouTube goes in there. There is also a growing community that would love to get into raids with you if you don't want to play solo, all the way from veterans to people who literally just started last week. So there's a ton of stuff in there for you. Make sure you utilize it, whether you want to look up maps, whether you have questions about stuff, get in the Discord, and yeah, I'll see you there. I hope you guys are very blessed. I hope you have an amazing day or night, depending on where you're at in the world. I hope your raids are plentiful and the AKM champion gets you lots of kills. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.